All right, a tragic story down in Harris County here in Texas. Man who's in the country illegally, drunk drives and kills a 7-year-old girl and does not render help. Let's check it out.
But first, we begin with a tragic story from over the holiday weekend. Investigators say a 7-year-old girl was killed after a suspected drunk driver plowed into the car she was riding in. Good afternoon, I'm Sherman Chow. Devon Ramming joining us live from the courthouse as the suspect went before a judge this morning. So Devon, that young girl's family also in court today?
That's right, Cernman. 41-year-old Joel Gonzalez is being held on a $150,000 bond as the family of 7-year-old Ivory Smith is dealing with unimaginable grief after losing her. Now, 7-year-old Ivory Smith was killed on Sunday morning while riding in the backseat of her mother's car as they were heading home. Investigators say 41-year-old Gonzalez was intoxicated and ran through a red light, T-boning Ivory and her mother near North Bamel Road and North Sam Houston Parkway. Prosecutors say Gonzalez then got out of the car and started taking pictures of the scene without rendering any sort of aid. We spoke with Ivory's family in court this morning, who tells us they just want justice for Ivory and they want stiffer penalties for people involved in these sorts of crimes if convicted.
It's always the person that's drinking and driving that gets to walk away, and then the families are left with this. So definitely the laws need to change. We're definitely worried he could flee. He has no conscience because he got out and he didn't assist.
It's very tragic. It does, illegally here or not, it's a tragic situation. I do think there should be stricter penalties for drunk driving. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Again, Gonzalez's bond is set at $150,000, and should he post bond, the judge has revoked his driving privileges and he must submit to alcohol monitoring. He also has an ICE hold, or immigration custody enforcement hold, since authorities say he isn't a U.S. citizen. So if he posts bond, he would then be held in custody by ICE. Now, Gonzalez is due back in court on February 6th, and if convicted, could face anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison. Live in downtown Houston, Devon Ram.
I'd say give him the max, 20 years in prison. There is no excuse for that. I mean, for one, he's here in the country illegally, so this would not have happened if he had not been here illegally. I don't know when he came into the country, but these are the types of things that we are talking about. And you have stupid people out there that will say, well, that could have happened anyway by an American citizen. That's the point. Is if he had not been here, this would not have happened to her that day, most likely. But it's sad. Yes, these things can happen. They do happen. American citizens do commit crimes. They do drunk drive. But that's the point we are trying to make, is that there will be less of that if you didn't have people coming across the border illegally. And now this 7-year-old girl tragically lost her life. I mean, look at this beautiful young girl right here lost her life because of this scumbag here. He deserves to be in prison for a very long time. Now let's go to the laws. Just for the laws in driving intoxicated. Penalties for DWI in Texas: first offense, up to $2,000 fine, up to 180 days in jail upon conviction with 3 mandatory days, loss of driver license for up to a year. Second offense, $4,000 fine, 1 month to a year in jail upon conviction, loss of driver license for 2 years, up to 2 years. Third offense, $10,000 fine, 2 to 10 years in prison, loss of driver's license up to 2 years. These do not include state fine of $3,000, $4,500, and $6,000 assessed upon sentencing. Driving impaired with a child passenger, additional $10,000. Child endangerment, up to jail for 2 years. Driver license for 180 days lost. I mean, I don't know. I did a story not that long ago about a drunk driver here in Texas who got life in prison. I think he had his 6th DWI. He did 25 years, and he got out and still was acting crazy, driving reckless, smashed into a dumpster. They said, no, put this guy in prison for the rest of his life. I mean, he's a danger to society. I think there should be 25 years was not enough for that guy. And he didn't kill anybody. But I think that there should be very, very strict penalties to make people think twice about this. You know, a $2,000 fine driving drunk, 80 days in jail upon 180 days in jail upon conviction. I mean, I think there needs to be more than that. And just that's my personal opinion because these drunk driving is very deadly. It's scary. You go into an intersection, you don't expect it to happen. I got into a wreck a couple of years ago, not by somebody who was drunk driving, but just she was not paying attention. She T-boned me. I was fine, didn't get hurt, but it's scary. You might have somebody flying through an intersection who's impaired. That's why it's very important when you go into an intersection, always pause for a second and look both ways, you know, when the light turns green, because I don't know who's about to come flying through that light. And a 7-year old's body cannot handle these things like a grown person can. And she lost her life, sadly. They did start a GoFundMe for her, for the family. The mother is in the hospital. She's severely injured. She has to learn to walk again. And it's very tragic that this happened. And I think the drunk driving laws should be much stricter. So this situation here is tragic. The guy should not have been in the country. The guy should not have been drunk driving. So both things need to be fixed. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Take care.